Yeah, we're live.
All right.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. This is Monsef Afkar, and thank you so much for joining us in this new call of Your Divine Uniqueness. So I'm very happy for your presence, for being with us, whether on the live call or on the replay. And yeah, also very excited that Dr. BethAnne is back on the show. She joined us several times before. The last time it was the last season, and like it was really, really powerful call. Like the interaction with you in the Q&A, and then the information that she shared with us about this year's energy and what to expect and how to navigate uh, the different um, the different maybe experiences that we may be having individually and collectively, and how to align with that with more like from align with our hearts as we walk that path. And yeah, also the feedback was just how to say, like really happy by the experience, whether on the live call and also with those of you who worked with her after that. So yeah, I'm happy that she's back. And today's call will be about the Akashic Records and anchoring your light. And so she will, how to say, she will share with us maybe shortly about 2023 and why it is called the evolution, the year of evolution of light, and also about what to expect in December energetically and how to navigate the end of this year, and also like an energy preview of next year. So that will be very exciting. And also she will guide us on an angelic guided heart activation. And then we will take questions from you. So as always, if you are on Zoom, you can raise your hand by pressing reactions, then raise hand. If you are on the phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. And also you can type your questions on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. And for those of you who are new to BethAnne, she is a spiritual psychologist, intuitive channel, writer, speaker, and artist. And yeah, so with that, BethAnne, welcome back to the show. Happy to have you with
Oh,
us.
thank you so much. And hello, everybody. It's wonderful to be here today. So I'm delighted to be here and to bring this information through. I think talking about the Akashic Records always lights my heart up. So if we are supposed to be moving in the direction of doing things that light our heart up, the Akashic Records are all like, I'm all in.
Wonderful. Um, yeah, so would you like to share, I mean, maybe briefly, for those who are new to it, a little bit about your work, just so they can have an idea, and then we'll move to the subject.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, so well, my background's in clinical psychology, and that has kind of been, the anchor to all of my work. But in my own spiritual awakening and evolution, I was introduced to the records through receiving readings and accessing other individuals' work who were accessing the records. And that is what really kind of caught my attention because I was learning so much and growing so much through that. And somewhere in that process, necessity kind of breeds. I think it's the mother of invention. I lost my access to the person who had done my Akashic Records work. And I had this moment of saying, gosh, I've done this for like 3 years with somebody else now. I was already reading tarot. I was already having a lot of other things happen spiritually. And I thought, well, maybe I can open my own records and try and start working with them. And then it's like this whole new world opened up to me. And it's always so funny because no matter how intuitive we are, there's some things that we just don't see coming. And like that whole time, I never saw that being where I kind of like hung my hat in the spiritual world and said, like, this is my calling, but it very much was. And so from there, I started doing some individual work, and that eventually graduated into what I really love to do. And that is opening the records on behalf of the collective and looking at collective topics from the energy of the current year to energies around sometimes current events or things that are going on in our world. I love looking at them for psychological topics, like how do we set boundaries? What do we do in certain situations that all of us kind of fall into on the human journey? And one of the things I found about the keepers of the records is they're just so wise and so loving. And the information that always comes through, it's just so filled with light and compassion. And it's very neutral, like it's supportive and loving, but it's very non-judgmental. So even if you're channeling a difficult issue with them, like they will always give you this very soul nourishing guidance. As I said, I love working with the records. And at this point in my work, that some of that is what I primarily do spiritually. So that's a little bit on me. I could go on the journey, but I feel like that's a good blurb for everybody who might be meeting me for the first time.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for that introduction. And yeah, so let's talk about the energetic of this year. So I would love if you can tell us maybe what do you see about it and your perspective about how it's been going and the purpose of this year for our working journey. Yeah.
So the year 2023, so the Akashic Records have been very much telling us a story as each year unfolds. And I do monthly channelings as well. So I look at this almost like what's the new chapter going to be for each month? And every time we start a new year, I think of it like, oh my gosh, we get a brand new book and what will fill the pages of this year. But there's been this continuation of themes. And they called the year 2023 the evolution of the light. And just to put that into a context, the year before that was building the bridge. And the year 2024 is anchoring the light, which is why I called the podcast, our talk today that. But the year 2023 was the evolution of the light. And in January, when I opened the records on the energy, they said that where we end up at the end of 2023 is going to be so different than where we start out, and that this will translate differently for everybody. For some people, you have physically moved and you've relocated, or you're in the process of relocating. Some of you have moved away from relationships or left jobs or done some sort of big shakeup and big transition and transformation in your life. And for others, it is more of an internal shift and things where your understanding of yourself, your purpose, what you might be doing in your work or bringing to the world, how you might understand your relationships, your identity, all those things have shifted. And so on a human level, that was what the evolution of the light has looked like for us individually. On a collective level, there has continued to be a lot of movement in the collective. And I think it's fair to say that we're leaving the end of the year, and it's been a very hard year with some very big things going on. But we are in a different place than when we entered it. And my understanding of all of that is that part of what's been happening this year is a lot of light coming onto the planet, like energetic light coming in a spiritual way, in a cosmic way, in downloads, through portals, like all that stuff that gets very esoteric and very out there with the higher frequencies, that's kind of been coming down to us and moving and clearing space and rearranging structures. And so that's been this bigger umbrella that we've all been working under the entire last year. And then the way that I think about it is sort of like, here's the umbrella, we're all under it. And then it's kind of like all these different layers, because everybody's really operating on their own level and their own spiritual journey. And something that the records were very clear on is this wasn't just the evolution of the light for people who are dialed into the spiritual path and identify with this language. This is the evolution of light for everybody. And so somebody who might never watch this, they're not interested in the Akashic Records, they think this stuff is really out there, it's not for them, they are evolving too. And they are evolving the good work of the light in their own way, and whatever contract they have as a soul here on the earth. And so I love that they encompassed everyone in that. And that's kind of where we're at. So I guess a good reflection point is, where are you right now at the end of the year, and how has that changed since the beginning? I know for me, it's a very different place. So I found that to be very accurate.
Yeah, like for me, it's been, how to say, it's like shifting, radically shifting perspective about things. Like it was like totally different understanding about things that was maybe it was before coming from trauma, and now I understand more about this and also about the decisions. Um, maybe the way I take decisions is shifting, especially in the last couple months. So yeah, that was very interesting, and yeah.
I love that. There's been a lot of big perspective shifts, I think.
Yes.
And, there were months where the monthly message was really about like shift in perspective or seeing things from a different point of view. Our thought life and how we construct our thoughts and understand and take in information has been a big focus in some of the monthly messages this past year. So
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
Wonderful. And yeah, also, I would love if you can tell us about this month. We are already on the first week, almost finished. So, what do you see about it energetically?
I love the month of December. So part of what I can maybe orient everybody towards in my experience of the records is when I open them up and like we'll step into the new month, I'm kind of immersed in whatever the energetic experience of the month is going to be. And a helpful way to think about the records is not only are we accessing information when we go into them, and of course that's going to come through in thought constructs and feelings and sensations, but it's a little bit if like Monsef were to ask me, what's the year been like for you? And I could just take the experience of it and give it to you. And you could feel everything that's kind of been meaningful to me and have that immersive experience in it. So that's the records. So usually when I step into them, it's like immersing myself into what the energy is. And some months it can feel really heavy, but December felt like very fast paced, but very joyful. And it felt so light. And the records themselves opened up. They always give me an image to anchor the monthly message for us. And I saw like this hammock just gently swaying in the breeze. And somebody was just kind of like chilling out by the ocean, having this sense of being held and supported. And that was really what came through for this month, is that it's a month of being supported and really taking time to reflect on just where you're at right now. It's the holiday season. A lot of people celebrate various things this time of year. So it's a time of gathering and celebration. There was a lot of encouragement from the records to do what calls to you around that, like whatever feels joyful and celebratory to you, whether that is to join something or just be like in really good self-care. But there was again this sense of being supported. And they said that there is quite a bit coming in the year 2024. And that wasn't said in like a big, scary, threatening way where I had a sense of like, or anything that felt anxiety provoking. It was just said in a very matter-of-fact way that there's always something coming, right? It's a new year, and we know that we're here for a purpose, and our world's evolving at this time. And so to be continued, more on the way. But they really encouraged us to just take a break this month and to not worry. Like the stuff that you came here to do this year in 2023, most of it's done, at least in terms of your spiritual growth and whatever was going to happen. And so I love the message because it was very much about just like being at ease and being supported and finding joy and permission to know that we are in a very difficult place in our world right now. It's impossible not to be aware of that to some degree. A lot of heartbreak and hard things going on. And they were very reassuring that you can hold space for that and also hold space for joy and like take care of yourself and be in joy and do the good things that you're here to do and be in beauty, and that it's okay to like save space for that. And I thought that was really beautiful and wonderful guidance, just that reminder to, we can always be conscious hearted of what's happening around us and offer up our love to the collective when big things are going on, but that it's also okay to allow yourself to find the joy this month.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because as you say, especially when we see what is happening in the world, we feel like sometimes there is responsibility that we have. And we forget to, like you said, to hold that space of love and joy for ourselves at the same time. Because from that space that we really can support others. So yeah, I really love the message you shared. And also another question, because you mentioned that we take this month to maybe to rest and connect with it. Because many times when we hear about the um, maybe perspective about the energetics come in, then we feel like trying to make it happen, or we may be afraid of missing out, maybe the opportunities that are coming. But when we relax, maybe like what you said, we are not missing out or on anything.
Yeah, they were very clear on that. And I think it's for the exact reason that you said, our the records and the keepers of the records, they're our angels, they're higher light beings. They are many that many of us might work with and have different understandings of. But they know us, and they know that so often in the spiritual community specifically, we're very like conscientious, and we want to be prepared, and we want to be aware of what's coming, and we don't want to miss out, and we don't want to miss out on an opportunity to get ahead of the energy or work with the energy. And so there was just this beautiful reassurance, like, don't worry about it this month. You've done all the hard work that you came here to do this year, and it really was this like, take a little bit of space to rest, because there are things coming in 2024. We will want to be able to engage with that in a way that we feel filled up. And so it is just permission to be upheld. And I love that too. I need that. I
Yeah,
tend to be an overachiever and always in overdrive. So it's a good reminder for those of us who are hardwired like that.
yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, BethAnne. And so, what's about the energy of 2024? What can we expect from that, or maybe do you have any advice on navigating the energy coming?
Well, the what I can tell you about 2024 is that it is called like anchoring the light. And it was this idea that, again, it's a continuation of this year. And the way that this came through in the records was almost like if the years 2023, 2024, and 2025 were like a trilogy or something in a movie. I actually saw like the old school Star Wars when that came through, and saw that like this is the year of like Empire Strikes Back. And what they just meant was like it's sort of the sequel and the continuation of this year. And what it felt like is things have shifted, and now it anchors in. And so what I actually saw was a lot more clarity this year. I saw individuals like feeling more powerful, like ready to step forward on their path in whatever new movement you're doing, whether that's in business or a relationship, or how you're presenting yourself to the world. Or maybe you've been working on healing trauma and you feel like a layer's been lifted, and so you feel more clear. That's going to come through differently for everyone. But there was such a strong sense of really rising up and being in our power. And that felt like a lot less shifts and changes and some of the shakeups that we've had over the last few years, at least on an individual level, and a lot more like us intentionally striding forward in a way that we know who we are now. And something that I really liked about something that came through for 2024 is that there are things that many of the people on this call and who are going to access this in the replay, you feel called here to do something for the world, and you feel called to serve the light in some capacity. And maybe you want to write a book, or you want to do a podcast, or you want to do something business wise, or just be more effective in your community. And I had this sense that there's just been a lot of energy tied up, where there's been a lot of frustration, perhaps, and things have not gone the way that you wanted them to. And it feels like a lot of that's being cleared. And whatever thing you feel called here to do, whoever's meant to receive that is going to be in such a better place now to receive like whatever you have to offer or give or create than they might have been over the last couple of years. And so I felt like that was such an important message as well, to know that it's not just like our ideas and goals and plans and what we want to do, but are people energetically ready to receive them? And is there a landing place for that? And if the landing place isn't there, it's hard for it to stick, or for whoever we have a message to share, they're not going to hear it. But I feel like this is the year where there's a lot more that, again, anchoring of the light, like things are going to stick, they're going to land. So that felt very good to me, like really reassuring.
Yeah, yeah. It feels exciting too. Um, so yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing about that. And it really helps to have this understanding or this awareness, um, because many times when we don't understand what's going on energetically, we may be confused about why things are happening to us or not. But yeah, so thank you for that message. And and so do you feel it's the right time for the heart activation?
Would Could we
Or
do questions and do that
yeah,
at
of
the
course.
end? I was just thinking
Yeah,
that
yeah.
might feel really nice today, to just kind of save that like for like the last 5 minutes and do it
Okay.
then, and maybe just do some Q&A.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, let's see. Tanya, can you please unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So my my question is, I heard few times already from different people that I was a nun in my previous life, and that I have made some contracts and that stop me in this life of doing what I want to do. Like literally, I have blockages on my heart chakra and my throat chakra and something in between. So I thought it was cleared like long time ago, and recently it was again cleared. So if you could please check and just tell me if I still have these contracts, like that I can do, like help people just as a nun, but like I was told that any other things that I could do to help humanity or to help people are blocked.
Okay. And it's
Mm.
Tanya.
Tanya, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate.
Okay. Let me feel into that and just kind of see what comes through. Well, I can feel that you've done a lot of work. Actually, the minute that I said your name and shut my eyes and tuned in, I actually feel like it's almost like something was pressing down on your chest and throat for a while, and it feels really lifted. And it feels like I can feel, Tanya, the work that you've done. And I don't, like, in terms of big blockages, I don't feel anything there that's left. Like, you've done the good work, and I'm hearing from your guides right now. This is, I don't know how long you had been addressing this, but this is part of your evolution of the light. And this is part of the inner work that you've done this last year. And what I feel like right now is it's almost like you've been so used to having that there and having that energy feel restricted, that it's a little bit like being, I guess, like a baby bird is how it's coming through. And it's like, okay, well, you have these new wings now. How do you fly and where do you go with them? And so part of the reason that it hasn't come through right away of how you're necessarily meant to serve or do that is like you're just getting used to life without that, and breathing a little bit easier, and learning to give yourself permission to see yourself differently than how you did before. And what I can feel from you, or feel for you in terms of the guidance, is that it might feel helpful to kind of like play with the thought construct that you were told you had all these blockages, you had these contracts, they prevented you from doing the thing. And like, what would it be like if you wrote a new story and you sat down and kind of journaled about, so those contracts are gone now, they've been dissolved, you did the work and you wrote a new vision for yourself. I feel like right now the biggest and it's not a block that you need to go get cleared by anybody. This is just you working with your thoughts, and it's working on bringing a new story through and seeing yourself is clear of this baggage, and seeing yourself is no longer having this attachment to these old things. Like there's nothing more you can do to clear them. What you can do is every time it comes through in your thoughts is be like, oh, that's the old story. I'm writing a new story now. And that's going to open up like so much mental space for what's coming next and for your ideas to flow. You know, you have a lot of light to give. It's just that making the switch in here.
I know. So my mind sometimes is blocking me, not my, okay.
Yeah, no, you're good. I could feel it. It felt like the way that it came through is if somebody had been almost like wrapped in like chains, and all of a sudden it was just like opened up and you were like, oh, I feel the fresh air for the first time, but you've not really breathed it. So you don't quite know how to assimilate that experience. So it's just the mind now. And it's perfect timing moving into this new year.
It's
So
fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you
so welcome
for choosing me.
Yeah.
You're so
Thank you, Tanya.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Much love. Beautiful. Thank you, BethAnne. And we have a question from Joanna on YouTube.
Okay.
Hello. I just feel really confused on where to go, what to do now, next. Is there any advice from the records? I would be so thankful. Yeah, it's hidden by heart. About clarity and direction. Thank you.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
just let me kind of see what comes through generally, Joanna, for this. So let's see, Joanna. And guidance to do. Yeah, I can feel it. I'm going to tell you the way that this came through. It came through like a little cartoon, and you know, somebody who is traveling on a road, and they've come to like all these signs with like arrows pointing, and like I could go in this direction, I could go in this direction, and they got like a little dark cloud over their head and a question mark about like what way do I go? And so here's what I'm seeing for you. First of all, I'm seeing you just sitting down and writing about some of the different directions that you could go in life right now. Some of the confusion is mental chatter, and it feels like it's just almost like too many options. And so writing down, like, what are your different paths right now? What are the things that you're confused on? What possible solutions or ways forward might you know? And if you don't know the solution, then the solution might be, well, I'm just going to wait this out and see what keeps happening. And then I'm seeing this person, again, our little cartoon character, now they're writing all this out with this question mark, and they're looking at the different roads, and they're saying, which direction is most likely to take me there? So I feel that some of your solution is a little bit of clearing of your own process and kind of sifting through what holds value for you, what feels most meaningful for you. What direction do you want to go? Not what direction are you supposed to go? Like, what direction do you want to go? And then there's a little bit of a sense of intention of choosing a path and moving forward on that, and just calling in your Akashic guides, your angels, and saying, this is the best direction I know to go right now. Support me on this. Help me to move forward. And if I've missed something, or there's something that I'm supposed to be doing that I, didn't quite notice, help bring that into my periphery. It's a combination of clearing space and then setting the intention. And then what I feel from there is like happiness or joy. Like I see this person walking forward in this new direction, and they feel really good because they've made a decision. There is clarity around it, and there's a sense of like purpose and movement. And that is also going to help you not only feel a little bit more clear, but it's going to allow your guides and angels to support you a little bit more in a way that it comes through and translates. It feels like right now they're trying to give you direction, but it can be really hard for us to discern the message when our head feels super buzzy with too many things going on. So I hope that helps. Maybe leave us a comment on YouTube and let us know. And good luck with everything, Joanna. You're going to figure this out. That I can feel. And there's happiness and hope there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, BethAnne. And also thank you, Joanna, for your question. So we'd love to hear your feedback. And we have Steve. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yes. Hello
Hello.
there.
Hi, Steve.
Hi. Oh, how wonderful. Yes. So this year has really had a lot of experiences of expansion, of just being and in some kind of connection. I can't explain it, but recently they have heightened into intense presence and awareness of and being simply in that experience. And it'll last for a period of time, sometimes with vision, which was interesting, sometimes just with the present moment and being in that, sometimes with other people, and having quite the experience. Of course, I want it to happen today. How about today? And I know better, but quite interesting. The recent ones have been very powerful.
So are you wanting to know, like, what is this, or where is it all going, or what does it mean, that kind of thing?
Yes, because it's been so powerful. I went to the doctor and I thought, what if I'm having a...
Sure. What if there's something happening neurologically?
Yeah. Well, I don't have a good track record. I've had this eye, and then I lost vision in this eye, and I thought they were God consciousnesses, and they were. So anyway, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let me feel into that. It's so nice to see you, by the way, and let me just kind of feel into Steve, and what is happening with all of these visions. Well, part of it is, and this sounds so basic, but I heard right away, like, you're learning to see more clearly. And part of what's happening is it's almost like, yes, you are experiencing this as some extraordinary presence, but it's almost like you're sensing the presence that's always been there, and you're feeling it in a way that is more visceral. So it feels like sort of that shells falling from the eyes or something like that happening, but it's kind of like what you're feeling. And I'm trying to zero in. I don't necessarily feel that it's like one entity where I could tell you, like, oh, like, you're channeling Kuan Yin, or, something like that. That's one, ascended master. I don't necessarily feel that. It's almost like the veil between the worlds has become a lot more thin for you. And so you are so much better able to pick up on what is happening spiritually around people. You feel the presence of their beings that are working with them. You feel their galactic connections. You feel the star friends. Like, you are feeling all of that, and you're feeling some of it for yourself as well. You are tapping into maybe some on the other side who are supporting you in your path. And part of what I'm seeing coming for you is that you are being kind of up-leveled, I suppose, energetically. And I feel that there's more perhaps like mentorship coming on, or you being able to help people like have a connection, a stronger connection with their spiritual channel. And so some of it just feels like a little bit of training. And I can feel that it's been like very, very intense for you, but that's what it is. It's not so much something new. It's that it's always been there, and you have access to it now in a way that that you didn't before. And that's amazing.
You got it. You hit it. Yeah.
Multidimensional, I just heard. Yeah, multidimensional layers.
Yeah, multidimensional. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why I need a confirmation of what's going on, because as you said, I know this, but yet I seek answers like we're
what I
looking at
heard
now.
what I can tell you why you asked the question was that it just helps you anchor in what it is. You know, hearing it from somebody else who is feeling it for you, it's kind of like assuring you that your perception is right. And in some ways, it's like when somebody else reflects back to us something we already knew, it's almost like this anchor to sanity of, okay, I am perceiving this in a way that's oriented and that makes sense. So it's a touchstone. But yeah, I'm
Great.
excited to hear whatever's next.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for asking. Thanks for being here.
Beautiful. Thank you, Steve. And thank you, BethAnne. Joanna Shirot, thank you so much. I will definitely do that. And I really appreciate your time, advice, and encouragement. You described me so accurately. Thank you from my heart.
Oh, thank you, Joanna. Thank you for leaving us feedback. You're so welcome.
And let's see, a question from Just. Hello, dear BethAnne and Monsef. Thank you for your work. It's really hard for me to acknowledge my heart wishes, dreams, desires. Sometimes I'm more clear, but then it's really hard to commit, to keep that intention. Very soon, it feels like it doesn't make sense anymore. Is there any blockage? Could you help me understand my gifts I brought in this life?
All right. Okay, I see it too. Thank you. All right, let me feel into this for you. All right, heart wishes, dreams, desires. Okay. So let me just kind of tune into Just and see, is there a blockage there? I feel a little bit of one. I think you asked about a curse at the very end of that. I'm not feeling that. So let me feel into what this is and how can you clear it, or it's more like part of what I feel for you is it's coming through less as like a blockage of something put on you and more of like heart healing that could take place. Like maybe healing from grief, healing from the past, healing from different things in your life, things that have perhaps gotten in the way of trusting or having hope or trusting your voice. And I'm not getting a specific on like what the heartache is, but it could even be that like you have like heartbreak over like when you haven't trusted yourself, or heartbreak over this issue that you feel really clouded and you just want to move forward with so much more clarity. And why do you keep holding yourself back? Or heartbreak over life. There's a lot of things that we can have grief over. And what I'm seeing you doing to clear it is I'm actually seeing you sit down and doing kind of like do your own ceremony or do your own ritual kind of thing. I don't know what you have access to or where you're at in the world. So this could be inside, it could be by the water if you're at a place that you can go by that. It could be by a fire or a little like safe fire that you make that you toss papers in. But I'm actually seeing like you write down like everything that feels like it's a layer of heaviness on your heart. Any grief that might be there, any heartache that might be there. I'm seeing you surrounding yourself with your guides first and really calling in like this space of peace and white light and protection. Help me through this process so that I'm fully supported in this. Let them help you create a container for this so you don't get like overwhelmed or flood. But then like writing out like all the things that you have maybe worked on or been healing, including not trusting yourself and not trusting your own vision or your own decision-making capacity. And so I'm seeing you doing that, and it's almost like you like toss it into a fire or like rip it up and like throw it in the air, something symbolic that says like, I release this, you know, my karma is complete on this. Like I let this go. You can do this by the full moon. I offer this up to the moon. There's so many ways that you could do this. And then I'm seeing you really setting the intention of help me listen to my heart and follow that guidance with clarity. And what I can tell you is that your first inclination is usually right. It's almost like you get it and you're like, okay, I think I heard this. And then you question it and you don't believe yourself, but it's like what you're picking up on, it's real. Like you actually have a very pure voice in your heart. It's coming through like just very distilled, very pure, beautiful water. And you have good connection to your guides. It's just getting the other stuff out of the way. So start with that, and it feels like that's going to clear a lot of space for you to set the intention of trusting yourself and trusting what's coming through your heart, because you are hearing it correctly. You just don't believe it.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, BethAnne. And Joss, we'd love to hear your feedback, or you can type it on the chat box. Thank you very, very much, Shirot. And yeah, so we'll continue with the questions in a little bit. For now, I would love if you can tell us about the package that you are offering, which is Akashic Records Soul Care, and it's a 3-part package.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I invite,
So
just want to
absolutely.
invite them to share the link if possible.
Okay,
So
you share what you need to share down there. But let me, so these are my tools that I'm giving everybody. And, you know, since the kind of message for December was this kind of time just to synthesize, be supported, I wanted to offer something that is just very supportive for your self-care, very supportive for your process, that you can access on your own, and like take it and make it your own and do your own work with this. And like I said, these are all the things that I use that help me with my growth. So the first part of it is the channeling for the year 2024 is in the package, and that is an audio channeling. It is the Akashic Records on the year 2024, and it is it's just so beautiful, the guidance that they gave. They talk about, or the information will come through not only on some of the things that I shared today on the podcast, but it's like so much more than that. There's so much guidance in it about kind of what was going on in the year 2023. How can we maximize this space of this month, and what is going to prepare us to move into 2024? And something that I think I must do this because just of my background as a psychologist, when I work with the records, like I'm always wanting to know, here's our pain points, right? These are our pain points as human beings. And so what guidance do you have for this? So some of the questions that I asked the records were like, what happens if we feel confused and we feel like we're not on the path? And what if we think it's us, and that somehow we are the ones who got it wrong? And they have really amazing guidance to dispel a lot of the myths that many of us hold, where we're blaming ourselves because things aren't looking the way that we think they should. And somehow we feel like we've created it, and they bring through just so much guidance. There's so much freedom and liberation in it. And it really kind of sets the stage for not only what's coming, but it's a beautiful way to like integrate this past year. So that is an audio channeling. It's not something shared anywhere else. This was channeled specifically for this podcast. And then the next part is more channelings. This is on like being an empath in this world, being a highly sensitive person. And it's a series that I chose to do to really tap into questions that many of us struggle with. So it is like how to set boundaries as an empath, and understanding ourselves as energetically sensitive people in these transformative times. How do we cope with the shifting energies? How do we like empathically maybe set a little bit of protection around ourselves so we don't always have this influx of feeling what everybody else is feeling? If you have had the opportunity to meet anybody with like an antagonistic personality, narcissistic personality, intractable personality, that's actually what the records called them. But there's one on like healing the narcissist wound. And that really is more about individuals that are, I would call, just kind of toxic people that aren't necessarily interested in evolving towards the light at this time, and are really living from a place in the wound. And so a lot of times they enter into our lives and we believe in somebody's potential and think, I can like really help this person. And often we end up maybe sometimes being really hurt in that process. And so how do we go about healing that? And overall, there's one on just healing our sensitivity wounds. And what is so fabulous about the records is they will help us understand that so much of what many of us would find a pain point, something that we're struggling with, it's a collective wound. It is a wound that sensitives have, many of us have, where we don't feel seen. We might not feel heard. We might feel that our gifts aren't valued. We struggle sometimes to find our light in this world and find the places that we belong. And they really go into the history of that and why is that? And as you're going about your own journey, how can you not only work on healing yourself, but how can you work on bringing healing to the collective? Because I think that's an extremely important part of just something that we can all know on our journey is that what we heal in ourselves, we're not only healing for the collective, but we are helping heal that trauma in the Akashic Records. We are helping write a new story. There's one more, I guess, like one less energetic code that gets stored in the records in a way where we are in a wounded place because we've cleared that. And so we are helping clear out and transform the records, transform these ancestral wounds as we do our own work. So that is it's an excellent, I think there's 4 of them and over at least 2 hours worth of audio channeling on that. And then the last part is a packet that I put together that has journaling or meditation prompts, and then an end of the year card spread that you can use with tarot cards, oracle cards, affirmation cards. If you don't have cards, you can pull out books of poetry and intuitively open to a passage that you feel speaks to the question. There's so many ways to work with this, but these are my tools. These are the kinds of things that I will be journaling about. I will be doing this card reading. I will be re-listening to these audios. Just because I channel them in the moment doesn't always mean I perfectly retain the information. I often go back. And what I can say about especially the audio piece and the channelings is this is what was a game changer for me. Is back in, I think it was 2016, I was really on my Akashic journey at that point, and I wasn't actively opening the records, but I was close. And I stumbled across somebody else's work. They're no longer doing it, but at the time they had a big library on their site that I think, you pay a membership for and you get access to it, or pay some money and you get the channeling. And I was so intrigued, and it changed me to listen to how the Akashic presents information. It was so loving and so compassionate. It helped me shift my paradigms and some false beliefs that I really had about how all of it works, and helped reorient me to a more expansive way of thinking. And so I would take notes, I would look at them, I would re-listen to them quite a bit. This is the stuff that for me helped shift things like at the most fundamental level and really help me integrate what I needed for my path. So that's the package. It's for a really great price. It's $22. So it's very accessible, and I encourage you to partake in it for your soul support and your mental health support and your spiritual support.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, BethAnne.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful to you. And yeah, I really love all the 3 parts of it, like having the awareness of the energetics of the year, and also being able to take care of ourselves as sensitives, because as the energy is accelerating, like so many things in the collective are coming up to the surface, and we need to be able to care about ourselves, having boundaries, being able to connect more and more to our inner powers or gifts, and also to thrive through this continuous changes that we are experiencing in the world. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, you're so welcome. It's a little bit like if you're about to go on some crazy roller coaster and somebody's a tour guide and they say, here's what you're going to experience. Be prepared for these things. Like, to me, that's the records. They are our cosmic tour guides for how to navigate and at least feel somewhat prepared, so we can roll with the punches, so to speak, and learn to lean in.
Yeah. Thank you again, BethAnne. And so everyone, again, you can find the link for the package on the live event page. There is a special offer button there. Also, it will be available later on the replay page. The link also available on YouTube video description and the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. And the link is yourdivineuniqueness.com/BethAnne. yourdivineuniqueness.com/BethAnne. BETHANNE. And yeah, so can we continue with the questions?
Yeah, let's go back to
Let's see.
questions.
Caroline, can you please unmute yourself?
Hello. Hi, BethAnne. Actually, it's my husband that's going to ask a question. I want to
Okay.
leave room. So his
Thank
name
you.
is.
Okay,
Oh,
thanks for orienting me.
thank you so much. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're so welcome.
Much love.
Hi,
Hello,
Beth.
you. Hi.
I've had Crohn's disease for over 40 years, which I thought was in remission. And I've also, which I've been having trouble with. I've also recently had about almost 2 years now, total hip replacement, and I'm still having some trouble with pain. I wonder if you can see any blockages.
Yeah, anything that we can see happening in your body or can clear energetically. Yeah, and what's your first name?
Vince.
Vince? Okay. Yeah, so let me feel in a little bit. So I'm feeling in a little bit, and oh, I can feel where just some of the pain's been, and that you've been kind of limping along, so to speak, a long time in life, and having to deal with that. You're very resilient. You've had to be. You have such a big, good, beautiful heart. And I can feel that is wide open. And I don't feel any kind of blockage there. So let me feel in a little bit more and kind of see what might be going on here. You know, Vince, I want to say, like, give you something and be like, this is it. And if you clear this out, it's going to open it up. But, you know, I don't feel that so much. I feel like part of what might be happening is a little bit of like structural alignment in the body, like the kind of thing that you might go see somebody who does like body work or Rolfing. You might have already been doing that, you know, somebody that would be a practitioner of your choice. Like something in your body that might be happening that you could get physical support on, but some of it just feels like parts of your body overcompensating for other parts that perhaps haven't worked as well, or that had been problematic. And that's part of what I feel. What I can feel you doing in terms of the hip, I don't see a particular blockage that you could clear, but what I see you doing is working with the chakras down there. I think that's like the root chakra and the base chakra, little bit of the solar plexus chakra. And I see you doing a visualization where you imagine they're like slightly crooked right now, like almost like they're out of alignment. And I'm seeing you visualizing that energy like righting itself and like coming through in a way that feels very clear and feels like your body is like very like straight. And that's like what I want to do with the energy. It's like, if I'm not a Reiki person, so I don't do that. But if I was, I kind of want to like pull something here and like straighten it out down there. There's something that feels like off or curved or something like that. And so I see you doing meditation work around that. And then the other thing that I see that I can give you is that Archangel Uriel is very good for aligning chakras and clearing chakras out. And so I see you doing a visualization, again, with kind of seeing your chakras come into alignment. And I see you calling on Uriel and asking him to bring through energy that is like very straight, very in alignment. Alignment's a good word for you. And just kind of bring it down like a clear, almost like a clear column or something like that. Those things feel very, very energetically supportive that you can do, but you've done so much work. You've done so much work with some of the things that you've had. I can feel it. And I don't feel like you have done something that is causing this. This is something kind of in the body, but I don't feel a block that you can clear. So I hope that helps. And I hope that gives you a little bit of guidance. And gosh, you got a big heart. I can really feel that.
Great. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vince and Caroline. Much love. And also thank you, BethAnne, for your guidance. Let's see. Isha, hello, BethAnne. Can you offer some insights as to whether I'm fulfilling my life's destiny work at this time, or is there something more or specific that I'm required to do? Thank you, Isha Lee.
Okay, so let me feel into that for you. So let's see, Isha Lee and fulfilling life's work at this time. Yes, so this is, I feel two things going on here. There are more things coming for you, but you're not meant to know them yet. So your question in some ways, it's very like cognizant of you, right? Because I feel like there's something here where you feel like maybe there's something more, but you don't know what it is, and you're really conscientious. And so you want to make sure that you're not mentioning it or missing it. But what I can feel right now is that to like the best of your ability and the best of your guidance, that, you feel very aligned with your purpose. You feel like however you are sharing your light in your work with the people around you and the community around you, it feels really strong. And part of what your records are saying is that, if like for all of us, if part of our purpose outside of like the specifics of what we do, if part of our work purpose is just to shine as brightly as possible, and try and do that in ways where we can also access joy and service, like you are very much in that energy. And so it's like, yes, you are, and there is more coming. It's almost like you are working with a story that's being written as it goes. And you kind of have like the knowledge of here's what happens up until here. But I feel like there's more, and you just haven't been made aware of it yet. And it might be that there are experiences that you haven't quite had, or a way of looking at something that is going to shift, or opportunities that might come through that like might not even be on your radar. Like, I don't feel like this is something if you sat down and thought about it, or like if your guides told you like this is what it is, so get ready. Like, I don't feel anything around any of that. It's more like it's just going to unfold, and you're going to find yourself having this more expanded sense of purpose. And some of it will be connected to some of what you're already doing and how you already understand your journey. Some of it might be enhanced, where you expand on that. And some of it feels like it might be brand new. Like there might be a new, whether it's like writing a book or something that you've thought about doing, or maybe putting something together to teach or share with people. It's like something like that you've maybe had a flash every now and then, but it's not really on your radar right now. So there is a little bit more coming. But yes, to this point in time, you're doing beautifully and fulfilling your purpose and to the best way that you can. And you just have really bright energy. I can feel that, which is beautiful. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much, BethAnne. And also thank you, Isha, for your question. Let's see. Phone caller, like phone number ending with 358. Can you please unmute yourself? 358. Okay. I think she lowered her hand, so let's see. Renata, can you please unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? Thank you so much, both of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I have all these questions all the people before ask me, it's again gaining some more clarity, understanding what to really focus on, want to manifest for next year, but there's so many things I'm working on, if it's on my physical level or feeling more being really in service. It's just a lot. It's like feels very overwhelming. So I just leave it up to you what you feel is really the priority for me right now to hear from you.
I was
Thank you.
just thinking of that word. Let's ask them what you need to prioritize. So good. We're already on the same
Thank you.
page. Is it Renata?
Renata, yeah. Renata, yeah,
Okay,
Renata.
thank you. Okay, Renata. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank
Okay. Let's see. So, you know what, Renata, what you need to prioritize right now is grounding. And I know that's but that was the first thing that I heard. It's really grounding. And part of it is because there are so many things that you could attend to in your life right now. So this is kind of step one. They've got a little bit more guidance to give you, but I can feel for you that like you've got a really good head on your shoulders. You're a very thoughtful person. You have like really good ideas is how your angels and guides are saying it. It's kind of like in a way that like sometimes you know the thing that you need to do, but then you question yourself, so you don't do it, and then you overthink it. So there's a lot of assurance that like you have a very good guidance system when you tune in. But right now there's a lot of static. And so I see you really getting grounded. And I actually see you right now prioritizing like my goal for the month of December is to do small things to ground myself. And that literally could be like sitting on the ground, even in your house, if it's you're in a cold weather place, and just like connecting to the earth. It could be, you know, doing a really simple visualization of like, I'm like a big giant tree and my roots are ground into the earth. Thank you, Mother Nature, for supporting me. There's a lot of ways to ground, but I see you just doing that and even maybe writing out a priority list or a task list. So that's step one for you. Having said that, let me feel into what area in her life is the priority right now for her to focus on. Anything come through on health, service, anything like that. So some of what it is all of them. And that's why you're having such a lack of clarity right now. And so what I'm seeing would be really helpful for you to do is like with like your physical health, like kind of make a little, like I'm seeing you write this out or somehow map it out so that you have something to look at. Write out like what's your next step physically right now? Like, you know, is there an appointment you need to follow up on? Is there something you need to schedule in the new year? Is there something you need to do for medical support, physical support, something with your body. And then I'm seeing you sit down and write out like service. How am I serving right now? What am I already doing? Is there anything new that I feel called to create in the new year? It's almost like there's so many things right now and you have so many ideas that you can't anchor one. And so what I see you doing is, again, if you've ever heard of like the wellness wheel or like drawing your own pie chart and just putting your life into like spiritual pie, slice of the pie, physical, you know, this is my work life or relationship life, you know, just looking at each of those and identifying, do you have goals around those? Do you have an intention around those? This is part of your grounding. And then identifying one small step that you can take. That is going to feel more effective for you than if your guides give you some big plan and tell you you're meant to serve in this capacity and this is the big vision. It's almost like you need like just the next step, just the next right thing to do. And so write all this out and then just write down in January, what are 3 little bullet points of the steps that you're going to take? Pick whatever feels the most pressing to you. And that's how you're going to find your pathway forward on this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All the best. Both of you, blessings and a lot of love. Thank you.
Thank you for such a
Much
great
love.
question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Renata. And yeah, also thank you very much, BethAnne, for the guidance. Joshua, I'm about to move by end of this month. Any action steps or guidance from my record keepers for me for this month? Thank you.
Okay, that's a great question, Joshua. I love that in the year, the evolution of the light, where they said you'll be literally end up at the end of the year in a different place than you started, that you're one of the ones who's actually moving. So let me see, Joshua, who's moving and any guidance or action steps that might come through. Part of what I'm feeling with this move for you is, moves are very disorienting in and of themselves. And so part of what I feel is almost like just stay on task. There feels like I'm not sure what the move's about or where you're moving to. But what I can feel is that on the other side of it, it's like there's all this bright energy. It feels like a positive move. So I don't know what circumstances brought you to it, but what I can feel is that the outcome and what happens when you get to the other side of it, like that actually feels like really positive. It's almost like this brightness. And that is how it's coming through energetically, like not a little trickle of light. It's almost like walking out into the sunlight when you've been in a dark room and being like, wow, it's a little bit jarring. This is a move, it feels like, in the right direction for you. It's something that is helping align your energy with whatever it is that you're meant to do next in your life. And so part of what you can do this month, outside of just like the practical, like really mundane steps of what has to happen to get this move manifested and followed through, but please take small breaks. If you're really busy right now, like just take small breaks in there, little coffee breaks, little water breaks, little breaks to breathe in the air. That's going to help with your sanity quite a bit. But part of what I can feel you doing is just on more of an energetic and like emotional level of just kind of working with the idea of being at peace with where you're at right now, being at peace with whatever happened that manifested this move, be at peace with what's going to be coming in the future. It's almost like finding that radical acceptance for where your life is at right now and kind of what happened this year, what didn't happen, what goes right in the move, what maybe doesn't go as right, and you have to come up with the plan B. It's just having that, again, radical acceptance, radical compassion, just really being at peace with how all of it is and knowing that there's really beautiful, bright energy on the other side of it. So I hope that helps. And you're moving to Hawaii to start your music and healing work. And your partner is pregnant. Oh my goodness. So, well, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And no wonder I saw you stepping into like the bright sunlight. That's amazing. Best luck with your move. I think it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. And congratulations, Joshua. And thank you, BethAnne, for the guidance. Renata, she wrote, thank you so much. That is exactly what I needed to hear. Much love and gratitude to both of you.
Oh, good. Oh, thank you for the feedback. You're so welcome.
Yeah. And Annette, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi there.
Hi.
I have a question about when I'm working on connecting with spirit. I was wondering if it's best to call on particular like guides or angels, or if I just go more general, calling on, who's available of love and light, or is it best to choose a specific guide or angel or my higher self?
Okay, and before one quick question for you. Is there anyone that you feel connected to or any understanding of, any higher beings that you already have a connection with?
Kind of, yes. I do think about certain angels. That's been happening probably for the last year or two, but I'm just not sure if, they're for particular reasons. Like when I was working on writing or being creative, I thought, well, Archangel Gabriel, I would call on for that purpose. But when I'm not doing certain things, I'm just wondering if I'm just trying to connect. Is there somebody?
This is a great question. I'm so glad you asked it. And it's really relatable. I'm sure a lot of people have it. So let me just feel into Annette specific. Okay. So first of all, the ones that you have had a sense of connection with are coming to you for a reason. So trust your intuition on that. You might not be entirely sure of like how exactly to work with them or when you might call on them. You feel really respectful, almost like you don't want to bother them if you're asking them for help with something that's like not in their jurisdiction. But they're coming to you for a reason and coming into your consciousness, whether that's a flash in your mind or you watch a class or read a book or are scrolling social media and see some post of like, here's the archangel of the day, and you're like, oh, that's a new one for me, and it kind of hits you. If it comes on your radar and it resonates with you, this is sort of you building a vocabulary of a personal relationship with spirit and angels that you feel more comfortable working with and learning about. So I just wanted to give you that because it's not happening happenstance. It never is. It is specific to you. But let me actually ask your question with that. So is there specific ones, or what's the best way for her to go? Oh, I love this response. So what your guides and angels are saying is that it's actually kind of fun for you to experiment with it and to see how it feels when you might choose to invoke a specific archangel versus when you might say, I just call on like the angels of creativity. And I call in any angel to support my creative process right now. And Archangel Gabriel, thank you for being here as well. But it feels fun for you to play with it a little bit. And what your records are saying is there are like millions and millions and millions of angels. There's so many available and so many at our disposal, in the sense that when we ask with an open heart and say, could you help with this? Could you support with this? They delight in doing that. And so part of what your spiritual growth is permission to play with it a little bit. You're not going to do it wrong. And there's nothing here in your records or from your guides where you need to worry, like, what if you call upon Archangel Michael and then find out later it wasn't quite for the right thing? Like, the angels have a very solid network of communication that they are able to like pull in a buddy, if you want to think about it that way, who they're like, this one's really good for exactly what you're talking about. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to bring in so-and-so. Like, they've got that covered. So you don't have to worry about that somehow you're getting it wrong. And it is part of your growth to give yourself permission to feel like you have the right as a soul on this journey with the spiritual connection to have your relationship with them. The other thing that I want to give to you is you can always call in your guardian angel, and you can always say, like, may my guardian angel come in for this, along with like any other angels who offer me daily support. That is always a good place to start if you don't know who to call in, and they are always available to us. So start with that and maybe let the rest be creative. But you have a really beautiful angel connection. So I'm so glad you're developing that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I love that question. You're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you, angels.
Yeah, thank you, Annette. And thank you, BethAnne. Yes, you have time. What is Pipa? I have sold my property and was hoping to buy a property with land already set up to create retreats, but it sold to there at auction. So now not knowing. So guidance needed. Thank you.
Let me tune into this, Pippa, but just as Monsef was reading that question, I was already hearing it feels like a better one's coming for you, but let me tune into it and make sure that is. So Pippa and the land, and I love this vision, perhaps a property for a retreat. So the timing wasn't quite there. And it doesn't feel like it's far away, like this is going to happen like years later. There's a little bit of a timing piece. And the timing that I'm feeling isn't so much with you. Like, you feel ready. This is a great vision. And the Akashic Records talked about in I think it was the 2024 channeling that I did, they talked about this very thing, that sometimes the energy has just been tied up, and what you were hoping to do, like the rug kind of got pulled out from under you, and it's not your fault. Your vision feels spot on. You feel ready. The land that you're meant to do this on is not ready. It's either not on the market yet, or you haven't discovered it. I feel like it's coming soon. I feel like that's opening up for you in 2024. So I don't feel like, again, this is a long way out there. What I can feel for you right now is trust and patience come through the most strong. Like you haven't gotten this wrong. It's more like having trust that the vision in your heart, it's spot on. It's beautiful. This retreat center and what you want to do feels like it's meant to anchor light, right? And this is the year we're stepping into, anchoring the light. So like where you're meant to anchor this spot, the land itself is still opening to you. So trust and patience. And then I don't know where you're thinking of buying this property, if it's in the same area or if it's somewhere else, but I'm going to give you something that I do to work with the land, because I'm being told to. It might be snowy right now, I realized. So you might do this inside, but if you can get outside, rub your hands together so you get some energy going, and you want to put them down on the land and say, may the soul of the property meant for me open to me. And like put that energy into the land and really visualize that, like the mother nature herself, the soul of the land, the property there is like opening to you. Those things feel like beautiful things that you can do. And it's coming for you. You're still on track. This is just a side door or a loophole that you didn't see coming, but it's all still moving in the right direction.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. What a great question.
I'm in the UK.
Okay.
And I was going to have a retreat. I was hoping in Glastonbury.
Oh my goodness. Beautiful.
But I'm not sure I want to be there now. I'm thinking of going to be in Wales, which is by the mountains and the sea, and have this beautiful retreat.
I see.
In the mountains on the top, and there are beautiful castles, and I just want a healing space for people. But not like but very, very specialized bit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. So
peace,
what I can tell you is like where like that feels really good. I'm literally feeling like your angels have my back right now. They're very intense. So your inclination towards that, keep turning your gaze towards that. That feels like really good for you. And your vision feels really beautiful, Pippa. I can feel that. It feels like a place that people will go and somehow open up. It unlocks something inside of them. So whatever the retreat's about, it feels beautiful. It's coming. So thank you for sharing.
That's lovely. Thank you. And the angels are there guiding and supporting me, are they?
Yes.
Okay. Because I can't connect to them. I find it very difficult to connect, but they do give me numbers every time I look. There's always
they
like
were
an
just
11,
saying signs and synchronicities. The easiest way for them to connect with you is through sign synchronicity, something you see in nature, a number, something in the pattern that you notice, a song lyric, those kinds of things.
Yes, because I have this land and I'm always barefoot in the river and swim in the river and in nature. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. And that's how they speak to you then, right? It's what you're accessing. So I love it.
And the birds, they come and talk to me all the time.
Yeah. So you do hear your angels. It just comes through slightly differently than, right? You do.
I didn't think so.
You do. So
well, I'm very upset because my cat got run over 2 weeks ago. So it's a bit. Yeah. So I just hope that cat is all right, because that was very special. But maybe it wasn't meant to come with my new home, and it was just to look after me while I was here.
Well, what I can give you before we move on to the next person is your kitty's still with you on the other side. I heard that very clearly. You're the spirit of the cat. Is still with you in energetic form. Oh my gosh, like all the angels. So you're the spirit, the soul of your cat is not only okay, but still with you, and still feels like wrapping around your ankles or feet or something like that.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah,
It's really reassuring. Thank you.
You're
Beautiful.
so welcome.
Thank you,
You,
Pippa.
both of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, BethAnne.
Yeah.
Yeah, then let's take maybe one more. Our previous phone caller, the number ending with the 358. Can you please unmute yourself? 358. Hello.
Hello, my name is. Hi, how are you?
Great, thank you.
I guess they do want me to talk to you. I'm the last. Anyway, I've been having throughout my life visual problems. Now, apparently, the last year and a half, they've gotten worse. I had lost like my central vision, and I had a severe brain injury about 9 years ago, which coincided. Now I've been doing the physical aspect of it. I went through the clearing, the energy. I'm thinking they're giving me signs of clear vision again, and my central vision coming back, then it goes away. Then it comes back, then it goes away. Are these signs from them that this is going to correct itself?
Okay, and the signs from your guides, like signs from your angels and Akashic?
Right, from my guides and angels, because yesterday I call it St. Nicholas Day. It's my Grammy's heritage. She brought that over from Austria, and that was like a special day for me. It snowed outside, and then I came in and I could see my husband's car perfectly clear. And I went, oh my goodness, another sign. And then I played Oh Holy Night, and him and I were singing it in here. The sun came out. It was this blue sky above our house, and the sun came out. I could see clear again for like 10 seconds. I'm just asking them, are these the signs they're giving me that my vision will keep improving?
Yeah, let me feel into that. What's your first name?
Susan.
Susan. Okay, thank you. That's fine. Okay, so let's see, Susan, and that feels like a yes to me. And I feel like it's these moments. It's really interesting the way that it's coming through. It's almost like your eyes like open all the way somehow, right? Like something's been lifted, and then it goes away a little bit again and becomes fuzzy or blurry. Some of it feels like confirmation or messages like that you haven't lost the ability to see. And so I feel like there's a possibility that more of this will keep happening. I can feel whatever you've done medically and all of that feels like good and supportive and all those things. But from just the spiritual level of it, what I can feel is that it does feel like there's going to be more moments of clarity coming through. And it's I can tell you about this from like energy's point of view. It's almost like there's things in this world spiritually that are so bright, and you have like so much light. It's almost like sometimes like the eye are things that actually are so dark, like, and are so hard to see. There's almost something about like your frequency, like your codes. I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at, something in you, and like this bright vision you have. It's like when you see something clearly, it's like technicolor. And it makes me think about how in like old black and white movies, they have kind of gone through and cleaned them up, since then, and they add color in and they like clean up the picture. And it's almost like that's your vision. When it sees and you see, it is so clear. And there's something there. Yep, something there. I can't quite see what it is, but it's almost like there's parts of this world that are so dark, like a screen door with all these particles of stuff in it that you just can't get a clear vision of. And it's like, as you've done all these energy work, you have been clearing these layers of sediment. Something about you and your soul path and signing up to process, not seeing clearly for the collective, and what it's like as you've gone through your work to see things with greater and greater clarity and clear that screen off. So it you can know that your journey with vision and all that's happened there, it has been part of your personal journey, but there's a collective clearing going on anytime that you've done any work that supports you. And I do feel like there will continue to be these moments that you see things more and more clearly. And I can't feel definitively, like, you know, it feels like I might not be able to access this on a live public call if your vision's coming back. So it could just be limitations of this. Like, I can't feel that clearly, but what I can feel is you're going to have more and more moments like what you had yesterday. And they feel like absolutely breathtaking. Like, you will see these things during times that miracles are happening around you. And that feels truly beautiful. You're not going to miss whatever you're meant to see that holds the most value and is most important for you. And that's what your angels want you to know today.
Oh, yeah, because I've been seeing the different energy colors. And right now the room is in a navy blue, like, you know, the indigo blue color.
Wow.
I see the colors like that. And I was told by somebody else, I was seeing the energy of the things, like the energy of the trees when I go outside. Like sometimes it's like bright.
Their emissions, their coding, their soul, their aura. Yeah, it's almost like I feel that. That's beautiful. It's not just clear seeing in a way that somebody with you know, normal sight or typical sight would understand, but it's like when you see the colors of something, you're clear seeing on an energetic level. And that's amazing.
That's what's been happening like the last 8-9 months. And but it's funny when you said about clear vision. For some reason, I feel this is the month I'm going to get back my vision, and I can't shake that feeling.
Okay. Well, I'm going to put that intention. All of us listening, we're going to like add our intention to yours that that this manifests for you, and that would be so
I just
beautiful.
feel I can't. You know, it's like it's there. And when you said what you said, I'm like, oh, okay, listen. I heard listen to her. That's how they told me how to listen to you.
Perfect. Well, I'm so glad. Well, we're adding all of our light to yours on that, Susan. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
And also, could I ask one more favor? For my husband, could you put in special attention that right now he's having a medical issue, that it will be kind of like corrected, not so much corrected, but that he can live, that we can live together a long, happy life, that I don't lose him ahead of time.
I think you did just put the request in. And yes, we will add our energy to that with you. And blessings.
I really would appreciate that, because he's
so
my
welcome.
soulmate, and he does everything for me. Right now, he's like my eyes. So I want him to get help too, please, if possible.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We'll put the request in and ask for that. And like I said, you already did. You shared it with the group, and we'll add our light to yours on that manifests, and that he be fully guided and protected, and that you live a long, happy life together. And so it is.
It would be much appreciated. I mean, from the bottom of our hearts, I really appreciate that, because he's very deserving of it. He's a great husband. So I'm very lucky and blessed with him, especially at this time.
Thank you, Susan.
So I'd like to have him with me at least for a couple more years. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're so welcome.
Yeah.
And blessings to both of you. Thank you, Monisset, for accepting my call, and blessings and happy holidays to the both of you.
You too as well. Much love to you and to your husband.
What about my husband?
Emma, sending much love to you both.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And also thank you so much, BethAnne, for the guidance and also the prayer. And I think maybe it's time to do the heart activation.
Let's do the heart activation. This will just be a few minutes. So it will be a nice place to maybe in things today and kind of bring it together. So so this is just 2 or 3 minutes. We'll keep it really, really simple. Go on ahead, and if you can get comfortable and close your eyes, you're welcome to as well. And if you want to put your hand on your heart, you're welcome to. If not, just do whatever feels best for you. And just allow yourself to receive right now. And this is just going to be a simple archangel and angelically guided heart activation for all of us. So first of all, I call upon Archangel Michael, and I ask that he surround everyone on the call and everyone who accesses this in any shape or form with peace and white light and protection. And I ask that you really surround everybody's individual spaces and wherever they're at in their life with a lot of very calming, anchored energy, so they have personal strength and a sense of their purpose. And I also ask that you give all of us a really good empathic clearing. Please energetically dust us off, allow us to release any energetic debris that we're carrying that's not ours to carry, anything that we have kind of swallowed or sponged in from the collective, any stressors, any dramas or traumas or anything going on around us that we are ready to release. We just offer those up today and ask that you help us to find clarity in our systems. And then I call upon Archangel Raphael and ask that you meet each individual where they're at in their life and bring healing to whatever needs it. Emotional healing, physical healing, relationship healing, heart healing, spiritual healing, wherever those wounds are. I ask that you would bring through your gentle support and that you would continue to work with each individual and send angels of healing, their personal angels of healing, to them to continue to support them in their healing processes to the degree that they're ready to heal right now and let things go. And I call upon Archangel Ariel, and I ask that you help us to open our hearts and bring through strength and courage and a sense of truly feeling that we can stand in our power and feeling connected to our inner strength, and help every individual who accesses this to really have a sense of the unique beauty and gifts that they bring to the world at this time and their unique light. Help them to have a win in their life and also a sense of how hard they've worked this past year, and to be able to have that sense of satisfaction and completion and really self-acknowledgement for the good work that has been done. And then I call upon Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Jophiel, and I ask Gabriel to bring us inspired thoughts, help us to clear out any cobwebs that we have and anything that is not in alignment with living our truth and moving into the direction we're meant to go. And I like to call on Jophiel and ask her to give us a good feng shui of the mind and just help clear out mental clutter and give us beautiful thoughts and thoughts of self-love as we move into this season. And last, I call upon Archangel Uriel. May you allow us to transform anything that we have learned, grown, evolved this year. Help us to find our wisdom in it. Help us to find our lessons so that we can leave behind any pain or trauma from 2023 and just move into 2024 with newfound wisdom. And as we're doing that, help light us up. Thank you, archangels. And I'm just going to invite everybody to just take a moment of pause before we open our eyes. And if anything came through for you, or anything that you felt or noticed, any takeaways that you want or had in that meditation, just make a mental note of it and just have a moment of awareness and gratitude for how Spirit showed up for you. And now going ahead and wiggle your hands, wiggle your feet, wiggle your body a little bit. Let's come back to Earth, out of the celestial realms. And as you feel ready, you can open your eyes.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much, BethAnne.
Oh, you're so welcome. I was just noticing the time is exactly 33 after. So how's that for angel numbers at the end of the meditation?
Yeah, I think it's 3:33 in Eastern time. Yeah.
I love it.
Beautiful. So yeah, thank you so much, BethAnne, for the activation. It was really great to finish with it. Thank you so much for all the support, guidance you gave to our audience, for the information you shared with us today. It was really, really inspiring. So I'm grateful to that as well, and for the program, and yeah, making it affordable for our audience. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful December.
Thank you. And yeah, so everyone, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing with us the space and time. Thank you for those who asked their questions. And again, you can sign up and receive the package that BethAnne is offering to us on the page yourdivineuniqueness.com/BethAnne, yourdivineuniqueness.com/BethAnne, BethAnne. Or you can click on the special offer button, which is on the live events page, later on the replay page. The link also on YouTube video description and on the chat boxes on Zoom and on YouTube. And the package is Akashic Records Soul Care. And yeah, so thank you again, everyone. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you on the next call. Bye-bye, everyone.
Aloha.
Aloha.